Jeff Bezos is investing in a company called Altos Labs. Essentially, there's a bunch of jargon included, but it's a company that helps people live longer. So Jeff Bezos, he's the founder of Amazon, obviously a very, 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 very successful company. And now he has made another investment in Altos Labs. Jeff Bezos, some people don't know this, early investor in Google. I think he invested in Google when they were in the garage still. So he wrote them one of their first checks, $100,000. I think he has sold most of his stake since.
But you want those stats?
Yeah, let's hear the stats.
He invested $250K in Google in 1998, which resulted in 3.3 million shares of Google, which in 2017 were worth about a little bit over $3 billion. So $250K to $3 billion.
Wow.
$250K to $3 billion. That's crazy. In Google when they were in the garage, right? So it's obvious, he's got a lot of money. He can write checks. Amazon was early out, so he wasn't super, super rich, but he had money and he was able to invest in them. But to obviously make a bet on a company like Google when they're still in the garage.
That's a search engine. This is
this is a different
forever.
Business. Yeah, so it's anti-aging technology that Altos Labs is creating. The company was founded just a few months ago, so Jeff Bezos is one of the early investors in it. He's joined by a few other people. Yuri Milner, who's a Russian billionaire, made a bunch of money on Facebook and other tech investments, has joined Jeff Bezos. They've raised $270 million, this company, which is a lot of money, but that's the world we live in. When you add Jeff Bezos to your cap table, that's probably a good sign also. So they've raised $270 million, and the stat that John included in the doc here today talks about the number of older people in this country. So by 2035, it's estimated that older people will finally outnumber the people under 18 for the first time in American history. That's wild. So for the first time within the next 13 years, the amount of old people, whatever number that barrier is at, will outnumber the amount of young people in this country. So this anti-aging technology is obviously important when you think about it. The kind of people are trying to live longer, and Jeff Bezos is obviously trying to accelerate that through technology and investments. But what do you guys think about it?
What I struggle with is that's a lot of money. And it's at what point with these companies, especially the anti-aging, live forever companies, when does it become more than just a research project, right? $270 million is a lot of money.
So I think me personally, my belief on this is that rich people, they want to live longer, right?
Yeah.
And they're all obsessed with it. Everyone wants to live longer to some degree, but rich people are super obsessed about it because they realize that time is the ultimate currency that they can have, right? They can only have after some point, the money is kind of whatever, right? Jeff Bezos has enough money to do whatever he wants in life, technically. But he needs to live longer, right? He's got this space exploration company. They want to do a bunch of different things. Elon Musk wants to live on Mars potentially, right? And they want to be able to see a lot of these projects out, but they just want to live longer. And when you have a certain amount of money, it's obviously helpful to do whatever you want in life, but they're reinvesting it to go and create these companies that not only help themselves live longer, but other people in further generations.
To be fair, Jeff Bezos does look like he has anti-aged.
Yeah.
Early Amazon to now Amazon? I don't know what he's putting on his face.
Well, I
don't know if y'all ever heard the jokes I forget the exact joke, you didn't get prettier, you just got rich or something like that. They say about people that just totally transform their look when they get money because they can afford whatever surgeries or whatever it might end up being. I don't know what Jeff Bezos is doing. He's probably just got a good skincare routine.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Just really quick, funny story. The very first day that I met Anthony, this was my introduction to him. I was like, oh, okay. So you invest in startups, how interesting, whatever. Wasn't that interesting, but it was nice. So he was like, yeah, I just invested in this company that basically will freeze your brain. I will not name the company. It will freeze your brain and then you can come back after you die. So it freezes your brain when you die and then you can come back later when they figure out how to bring your brain back to life. Basically, the reason the freezing happens is so it preserves the synapses and the neural connections. Wild.
Wait, so are people actively doing this?
So rich people have paid to have their brain frozen when they die. It's an end of life procedure.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Would you guys do that?
No.
No, you wouldn't freeze your brain?
Well, okay, so think about it. If you die and then in 200 years, they're we can bring Joe back. And then you go back, but people will probably be super advanced. You'll have no idea what's going on. It'll be a really weird.
You'll be a boomer.
You'll be such a boomer.
You'll be a boomer. What about you, John? Would you do it?
Freeze your brain? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I was thinking about what you guys were talking. Yeah, I need more than 10 seconds to make that decision.
Tell us in
Maybe.
the comments if you would freeze your brain. We want to know if, when you were to die, if you would sign an agreement now to freeze your brain to potentially come back to life if they were able to find the technology.
All right. One thing I want to note is obviously rich people and just people in general have always looked at living longer. This isn't the first time Bezos and Peter Thiel actually invested in a company called Unity Biotechnology, a company designing drugs and treatments that can make a person functional and free of disease associated with aging as long as possible. So like these people are exploring many different avenues. I understand the research aspect of it. I think that aspect is very, very important before you start administering stuff to people, right? Before you start kind of giving advice to people, is having that research and all that stuff that goes along with it. But Altos Labs is establishing several institutes in places like San Diego, Cambridge. They have a bunch of scientists that have now joined. I'm curious when they will actually roll out something for the individual person, because like freeze your brain is for like the super rich who want to freeze their brain. The average person isn't going to be able to afford it. But obviously doing that stuff and more technology advances, the more that people can afford it, the more it becomes accessible.
So do we
for the
think
everyday person.
Bezos is doing this for himself, or do we think he's doing it for the technology to advance for other people also? Or is it a combination of both?
My problem with the research thing is like, it's not a venture investment. This company is not going to return your money in 10 years. Like this is a long term, and I'm glad that there's billionaires who are like, here's all my money, I don't care. Or not all my money, like 0.01% of my money. Because otherwise, like I don't think venture investors would be interested in something like this. So, you know, thank God for Bezos and Thiel and whatever who are interested, yes, in living longer and probably helping evolve the technology.
I don't know the economics on this deal at all, but my guess would be, because a lot of the other deals like this are structured this way, is that they actually like almost bought themselves a place in line, right? And said like, hey, I'll pay $2, $3, $5, $10 million or whatever it comes out to be. They raised $270 million. So they probably worked with a lot of billionaires or millionaires to go out and raise this money. And what they're essentially doing is saying, Jeff Bezos is making a bet. He's saying, hey, look, this is a very, very, very small percentage of my total net worth. If it works out, fantastic, right? I bought myself a ticket in line, and I'll be able to use this technology if it ever comes to fruition while I'm still here. But at the end of the day, it's a small amount of sum for him, but it means a lot to the company because now they have $270 million for them to go and attack the issue and see if they can accomplish it. So I think when it really comes down to it, I don't know if he necessarily, again, I don't know the economics of the deal. I don't know his personal view on the company or the science behind it necessarily. But my thought process is that it's a bet of some degree, right? If you're rich enough to where you can say, I can give $5 million and have a place in line in case this was to actually work out, it's a long shot. But I want to have a place in line. It's not a lot of money to me. It'll give them the ability to go out and work on this. I think it's interesting. I think we've seen other companies do this kind of stuff with space or whatever it is, and where you hold your seat in line. Tesla did it early with cars, right, where you put down a deposit. It's as simple as that, but you're just doing it for potentially life-altering technology.
Would you freeze your brain to come back? You wouldn't put on that helmet that we talked about.
No. So if I would have to know what the circumstances are before.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it if it was just open-ended, where it's like, hey, you know, because I also like, does the brain freezing work? Is that like a thing?
They've done it to, or that company that Anthony invested in, I think they had done it to like a pig's brain or a rabbit's brain, something super far away from a human, but it was still interesting.
Okay. All right, so I think I would have to know the circumstances. I would have to know, like, you know, we're gonna try for this period of time, whatever. I don't want to just like leave my die knowing that in some period of, like, it's open to anything. Like anything could happen. I could come back as a robot. I could, you know, like I don't want all these. That's where my head's at, everyone. I'm thinking way far down the road, robots and stuff.
Hey guys, bang bang. Thanks so much for watching the Best Business Show today. And don't forget to check out our partner, SoFi. They make all this possible. They're a super app that lets you save, spend, borrow, earn, and invest all from one single platform. And if you go there today and you sign up for a SoFi Invest account, you can get between $5 and $1,000 for free from SoFi. Not everyone's obviously gonna get $1,000, but everyone gets something. Don't say that I never did anything for you. Go check them out at SoFi.com/pomp, download the app, and go ahead and open an account. SoFi.com/pomp, and make sure you come back and watch more of the Best Business Show. We're gonna build the biggest business show in the world, and we need your help.